Welcome everyone to the post-game show after round 6. We have a lot of highlights for you from today's round. I'm Women Grandmaster Katerina Nemcova and I'm here with International Masters Almira Skripchenko and Paikidze.
What an exciting day today, 5 decisive results.
Absolutely.
Katerina, and let's have a look at the standings.
So standings after round 6. Humpy Koneru, a clear leader, winning today's round and having 4.5 points, clear second. Alina with another important win, 4 points, and then a three-way tie for the third place. Harika Katerina and Alice Lee with 3.5 points. And we start a review by the shorties and a really brilliant game by Bibisara Asubayeva against Karisayip. Bibisara sacrificed the pawn on the queen side and then launched an attack and surprised the leader and won the game. Let's take a look.
One of the tournament leaders is playing Bibisara, as we know. The other players voted her as the most aggressive player. She did find a5 and knight d5. This happened on the board. Alice responded with knight h5. Here, white has a couple of good options. Queen h6, still a good move. Immediately f4, opening up things. And Bibisara chose queen g5, which is also great. And here, Alice had to play bishop e6. It's still +1, but game goes on. Instead, I see that she made a mistake. She played f6. Questionable move indeed, because now after queen h6, you weakened your position even more. And whoa, she took the pawn. Whoa. This is very dangerous.
There are just so many weaknesses around the black king and a lot of white pieces ready to attack, but the knight on h5 is guarding everything so far.
What's the most natural looking move? G4, right? Or you can prepare even f3, g4. Let's take a look at immediate g4. Can black take the pawn? Rook g1. Ooh, this is very interesting. So if you drop back somewhere, it doesn't matter. There's so many tactics. Rook g6, right? Just wins the game. f6 is hanging, h8 is hanging. It's just game over.
Yeah, well, what we're witnessing is a sparkling attack by Bibi, and with, as you said, the move queen g7. It's over. There's just no two ways about it. But Bibi didn't have to be so aggressive. There was an opportunity after knight takes c4 to play just the simple d takes c4, and the threat of g4 is so strong. You, Nasi, had been looking at variations with king d7. There was actually a very funny line that went king d7, g4, knight f4, queen g7 check, king c6, knight e7 check. Talia and I just had a pretty good laugh about the variation. King b6. You're still running with your tennis shoes, are you? Well, check this one out. Knight a4 check and knight c6 check. That queen on g7 is a pretty powerful piece. Bottom line, it's all one-way traffic. Bibi is going to knock Alice out of the lead. Back to you in studio.
No, I thought the only way to protect the pawn f4
and a resignation. So first loss of Alice Lee. Congratulations to Bibisara Asubayeva, an extremely important win for her.
American superstar Karisayip won a very important game with the black pieces against the former world champion Tang Zhongyi. And it was a thriller. Karisa gambled very early in the opening, grabbed the pawn and went on to win in style. So who needs Netflix when we have Karisa? Roll the tape.
If you are just joining, we can summarize this game for you because it started as a Jobava London, where maybe Tang Zhongyi surprised Karisa a little bit because she spent already about 10 minutes to play move g6, which kind of emphasized that she was not ready for this variation. But then moving forward, she played this move, actually moving here, to this move c5, which I believe computer didn't like, saying it's too premature. And for this one only reason, here, white played knight e2 super quickly, immediately after that move, but white had a better chance. White could have just castled, give up this pawn, now attack the queen, queen a5, c4, and now, for example, when you castle, this is the key move of that variation. Playing b4, allowing you to capture, and then rook b1. But of course, this is extremely advanced variation, but it just shows how white is super strong here, attacking the rook with this bishop being here strong, and white is just having incredible advantage. But that did not happen because Tang Zhongyi played knight d2 pretty immediately. Now we continued with capturing, and suddenly it was Carissa who was maybe a little bit worse here, but she captured this pawn a little, let's say, aggressively. We weren't sure if it's good or bad, but we know Carissa is quite aggressive player and she wants to do something on the h file. And slowly it looked like Tang Zhongyi started to make a mistake. e4, maybe not the best move, but afterwards, this bishop c4 move was a blunder according to computer, after which black is actually having advantage because of this super strong move h4. The idea is that we want to push even more, even further, to try to disrupt the king side. This happened, Carissa now captured the pawn, and after a few moves, it looks like black recovered, having extra pawn advantage, and it looks like Carissa is going to win this game.
We see another blunder. Tang Zhongyi played bishop d6, a really bad move. She had to take on c6 and go into that position we analyzed, but after this, Carissa played 95, 2 exclamation points, and now it's close to -3. So let's take a look. She sacrificed in exchange, but after bishop f8, oh, she took on f8 immediately. That's fine too. She could have also taken here first, then taken. But I don't think there's a big difference because white can't really avoid that. So after bishop f8, what do? The rook on a3 is hanging. Play knight c5 maybe, to try to include the rook. Well, I'm gonna take on g2, threatening mate in 1. To take bishop, if you take king g2, queen h3,
I have to capture with the bishop.
Bishop g2, now just develop the bishop to f5. This is incredible. There's so many moves for white, but they're all losing. It's -3.
Then she performed very well.
And we see a handshake. So congratulations to Carissa Yip, back-to-back win. And she's back in the standings and fighting for first place. And Nazi, you have another important game for us.
Yes, thank you, Katerina. I'm going to go over the game between Alina Kashlinskaya and Maria Muzichuk. It was a long and exciting game. The first mistake happened really early in the opening, and as you can see, it was the 5th move for black, c5. I think Maria confused some move orders, and now after c4, d4, b4, and this line, we have a reverse color Benko gambit, and Alina was already much better. As you can see, the engine gives +1. But then the game continued, and around here, Alina played a typical plan for the Benko, which is rook e1 and e3, but in this particular position, it wasn't the best. And Maria came back into the game. Now engine says it's about equal. Then another critical moment was here. These players calculated a lot of lines today. So Alina starts with knight takes e5, we trade, there's a lot of forcing moves, and there was a mistake made in the critical moment here by Maria. She took bishop takes c4, and Alina found all the absolute best moves, which led to her winning an exchange. Because after e6, if you don't take on a3, Alina plays bishop b2 and checkmates black's king. So rook a3 had to happen, and she ended up in exchange, but this was still hard to convert. We go all the way to the endgame, right here. So as you can see, white still is exchange up, but still hard to convert this. Only winning move in this position was g takes h4. G takes and then rook e3. This is a winning endgame. Mistake was made, however. Alina played g4, and here Maria has an incredible chance to save the game. She found the first correct move, h3, but after king b4, the difficult part was knight f7, with the idea that when you take the pawn, I play knight h6, take the g-pawn, and turns out this is a draw. Instead, she played a human move, knight takes e4, which is losing after king c4, king f4. Eventually, I'll show you that this black knight ended up stuck all the way on a7, and Alina won this game beautifully. Back to you, Katerina.
And the last game to talk about is between the Georgians, Nana Dzagnidze and Nino Batsaishvili. They started with Queen's Gambit decline, and maybe Nana had slight advantage, then maybe Nino, then we looked, it's going to be maybe a draw. But at the end, Nana made a swindle and won the game. Let's take a look. This game started as a Queen's Gambit decline. Nana Dzagnidze decided to choose this opening, while Nino Batsaishvili kind of calm waters, went with knight h5 to try to target this bishop, which is something you want to do because this bishop is pretty good at this diagonal. Bishop e5, knight d7, offering the bishop because now this queen is suddenly targeting the knight. Also, since this knight moved away, this pawn can in the future move forward, as we will see. So knight f6, and here we go, f4, with the idea in the future to go g4 and maybe attack on the king side. Now, surprisingly, Nino really tried to immediately take advantage of the weakened king, maybe a weakened pawn here on e3, and went knight g4, now taking, and has a pair of bishop, which is an advantage. But white has developed pieces, and now the last move, rook e1, white finished development. h5, black is, despite having king in the center, is ready to attack on the king side because it's saying, you know what, I do have a pair of bishops. e4, white is fighting in the center, giving up this pawn on d4, and now interesting move, king f8. There was a possibility to simply castle and have the king safe, but at some moment maybe this rook can be helpful on the h file, and that is why king f8, e takes d5, and now a big blunder by Nino that kind of ruined her good chances in this game because she captured, and knight b5, really strong move, immediately targeting the queen and the bishop, and that means for Nino that she's going to lose this bishop, which was the important piece to help in the attack.
That have been played, so rook f4. Nino goes for this endgame. This is a very important transformation.
Wow, d4.
Rook e6. She blundered rook e6. Nana
and
sees
immediately on the board.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Oh my god. Rook e6. This is such a blunder.
Because there is this skewer. The pieces will be on the same diagonal. Wow.
And she shakes her head. She knows
Nina,
that now she's completely
Nana
wrong.
saw it immediately. She just immediately captured on e6. Wow.
You know, I haven't seen anything today, but you know, when d4 was on the board.
And we see a handshake.
Yes.
So Nana Dzagnice won her game. She tricked her opponent with rook takes e6.
Today we also had an all-Indian clash between Humpy Koneru and Harika Dronavali, our co-leaders. Humpy Koneru came well prepared. She surprised Harika very early in the opening phase. She played bishop g5, grabbed the advantage, and she won a crucial game against Harika. And Humpy Koneru is our sole leader. Let's have a look.
We know that Humpy was better most of the game, but look at this. If you can see my screen, starting from queen e7, which was a bad move, she played 5 best moves out of 6. That's incredible. F takes e, rook takes up, rook f5, queen b3, very strong, rook f1. She found a target. Remember earlier when she played f4? This was her plan, and she's successfully executing it. e5, g3, and e6, and now white is much better. Let's have a look why. If you take queen e6, looks like queen trade should be good for black. We have a pass pawn, but here we play rook f8 check, rook d1, and king comes to f2 e3, and black pawn is stopped. I think black has a wrong colored bishop maybe.
Now we are
The trend continues.
Queen here, yep, and we will see checkmate. And that's a handshake. So Humpy Koneru won an important game against the co-leader Harika Dronavali, and now she is in clear lead.
The game, look, I know it was really, really tiring on you. When you play against Harika, do you always fight such hard games? Because that was remarkable.
Sometimes, of course, there were also some simple draws.
Yeah.
And there were also fighting games. Probably today it turned out to be quite a...
Humpy, I have a surprise for you. You're in clear first place. How does it feel?
Yeah, it feels good, but still 3 more rounds to go.
Absolutely, 3
it's
games.
quite challenging as well.
Indeed it is. Well, good luck in the end, and I hope we'll see you again.
Yeah, thank you.
And let's check the pairings so you know what to expect tomorrow. Carissa playing the leader, Humpy Koneru. Carissa won 2 games in a row, so she will try to enjoy her white pieces tomorrow and take down the leader. Nino Batsaishvili against Tang Zhongyi. Alice Lee against Alina Kashlinskaya, very important match for the standings as well. Harika against Bibisara Asubayeva, who just played an incredible game today, and Maria Muzichuk playing Nana Zagnidze.
Thank you so much for watching. A lot of interesting games ahead of us. See you tomorrow.
Bye everyone.
See you tomorrow.